I diverted a little bit, so excuse me. So, um, solarize. We have to solarize our energy system because of the energy costs. We have to have business models in that unit so that people get the proper support and market access that they need. There might be a way of doing community sharing of transport when the products is going down to the supermarket. It takes all their products and distribute to all the supermarket in town and in Grenville, St. Patrick's, etc. So there is those potential economies of scale. But one of the biggest thing that we're missing is putting people together and allowing them just to talk. You'll be amazed at the kind of solutions they'll come up with. We're not always used to that culture. When we get into groups, we like to kind of mix jokes and think that's what it's all about and criticize others. As Mr. Pierre says, criticize everybody except ourselves. But secondary processing is one of the ways that we can transform our society. And again, we use this analogy all the time. We're not waiting for anybody to come in with a white horse and big sword and cloak and say, "Well, I'm here to save you." We really do have the potential to save ourselves, and a lot of our products. I see in Brooklyn. I don't know how they get up there or whatever, or what method of transport they use. But I know it's getting harder to get those products up there. And there's a large and a big demand for those products. I think cocoa balls, have been amazed at the level of demand for cocoa balls in Grenada and abroad. Every time I have friends come now, they say, "Josh, get me some cocoa balls." So that cocoa ball, I think more and more people are being aware of it, its benefit. And I'm sure when I mix the cocoa ball and bourbon day, I'm sure I'm going to get some good sale.
Yes, so the challenge for us is individual farmers or individual people could take some initiative. But then you meet stumbling blocks that they tend to abandon it.
Yeah.
So we must have, as a policy position of the Ministry of Agriculture, that they support secondary processing. And then people knows that. So they may able to provide technical assistance. Sometimes the help you need is not always money. I have said repeatedly, Grenadians, the majority of, not the majority, but we have significant discretionary income in Grenada. Why do I say that? We have 100,000 people and 68,000 registered vehicles. So the question may not necessarily be money. Every time you say that, sometimes governments say they don't have the money. They have the technical people available. But if you have a policy where you support secondary processing, then sometimes the assistance needed is technical. Sometimes is telling you where you're going to get the information.
Yeah.
We could sit down and cry that we don't have the market and people taking advantage of it. Once you're producing a primary product, you would not get rich. Once you're producing a primary product, even if it's diamonds you're taking out of the soil, the man who refining it is going to make more money. We have nutmeg, cocoa, soursop, and a number of other crops.
Plantain, banana.
And we sell it in the primary form. Now, when Guyana was experimenting with cooperative socialism, they take the harsh leftist position to nationalize everything. So there was no snacks on the shelf. So Guyanese were making plantain chips. I don't know if you have plantain chip in Ghana anymore. But this was all shops you go, vehicles passing, selling plantain chips. Now, That is when they take the product and make it into a secondary product. What does it take to provide plantain cheap on the market? But we don't have it.
Yeah.
Joshua spoke a lot about plantain. And no, we can't sell the plantain. The plantain is ripening small, spoil. So it becomes as a discouragement for the farmers who planted the plantain.
Yeah.
But we have no plantain chip on the market.
Yeah, and that's an excellent point, the way you illustrated it for the audience, Mr. Pierre. You know, planting, let me stick on that for a minute. Because sometimes what I think is happening at the moment is this, and I share my thoughts with everyone. I'm not mean with my thoughts. I've been told, oh, there's not a market for planting and seasoning pepper. I wrote my little note and I said that cannot be the case. We have a school feeding program of about 20,000 students. There's no plantain on the menu. There's no banana on the menu. We have a national kind of hospital service where we have Princess Alice up by us, and then we have the Tongue Hospital. Don't tell me that, it's only rice they could eat. That is a market there. We have the prison system. Don't tell me they're not eating plantain and they're not eating bananas, because those are staple food. We have many other institutions that are state-led. We have our even parliament. We have to really take this thing serious, We cannot just accept the old market that's available. We haven't done anything in terms of a holistic review of how we eating and what we eating, and say there's no market. This thing is so important that we have to really practice what we've been preaching, which is a holistic approach. I know TAMCC, and I give them all the credit. They are in the process of linking up with a Canadian university that specializes in secondary processing. So one of the
So we're looking for a godfather.
no, we're sharing with technology transfer
And that's the challenge that we have.
and knowledge.
Once we continue to insist on the route of looking for a godfather, we're in trouble.
No, they came looking at TAMCC. Anyway, one of the things we're looking at is not only the plantain chip, but plantain porridge, using plantain with other fillings in it, like they do with the baked potatoes, etc. Apparently, there are many different ways how to use plantain, and we have to take more of a scientific approach to these things, and we have to have written documentation that can be spread not only to families and children, etc. But we really have to kind of start getting the benefit from secondary processing. And that's not only plantain I'm talking about. I know very little about plantain, but I know enough that there is major secondary processing.
We have a caller on the line. Let's take this caller.
Yeah, something smells nice.
Good morning to you, to the dog.
We're speaking about agriculture. Yes, caller. That's nice.
So how is everybody?
Great.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Josh.
Hi.
Now, I mean, say it's a recurrence, a repeat of all those things. We're talking about market, and we talk about food, refining what we have, and so forth. All well and good. We're talking about the tourism industry, and there's another market we're talking about. We always say, but it's slipping me now. Now, what I want to believe is our leaders are not thinking far and fast enough. That's what comes. So I have to come back to leadership. And whilst our market is small, and we have a small population, Josh, you and Brother John always mention those things. BG,
BJ.
we have to create our own economy of skill. Yeah? We have to work towards that. We don't have the numbers in terms of the citizenry, but we have to bring in the numbers. So whilst we focus in on the producing of the refined product, we also have to find the people to consume it here. Yeah? But we have this notion that we are small countries and we are small people. We don't have what it takes. So I say we're stuck in theory because we're not practicalizing the knowledge that we have. We have to get involved in science and to end up in technology. So we could produce a lot of the machinery to do a lot of the things. We cannot continue saying that we're too small to battle with the United States. And somebody said this on one of the programs, because we are small countries, what do we do if the United States puts embargo on us? We could survive. We can survive, not because you're small that we're going to think small. We have to think big. We can survive without the kind of support that we want from the United States and Britain. Yes? But you see, one of the things we do, Brother Josh, we talk too much. Our diplomacy is so low that we give out our best ideas that we should keep for ourselves. The government and opposition continue to battle and to let go vital information that should remain with us. So they're sabotaging their own self. But we have to get to the point that instead of saying we can't produce for the international market, we have to get to the point of producing so we can actually bring in the people here to consume it. Now look at what is happening between Venezuela and the Americans. Our leaders cannot make a decision. It's a simple decision. It's not so sophisticated. We know that we can battle the United States, yes, but we have our constitution, and we just cannot keep lying down and having these people rule over us all the time, making us change our constitution for them, and we're not getting any benefit for that. We have to take a position to say, if we want the Caribbean to be a zone of peace, we have to say that's what we want, and we're not going to tilt to any side. Because I am worried that if we put this surveillance equipment here from the United States, which is the radar and all the equipment, Grenada become a target. The first thing countries will go after in war is these surveillance equipment that operate with the satellite. Yeah?
Yeah.
So it is likely that our airport could be bombed. So we have to be very careful, and we shouldn't, as some of us are saying, well, we have to be very careful, the United States is big. No. We have to say to the United States, we are not going to be part of this full stop. And our citizens have to tell our government, don't ever go to here. We have to take the balance of power in this situation here, because when these politicians and them make decisions, they leave the mess for us. So we have to be saying to them, look, this is a serious thing for us, for everybody, and this should never happen. It cannot happen. If that happens, we are going to shut down the airport. We are going to shut the airport down so no plane will be able to fly. We have to be taking tough decisions. This is a serious matter, and we cannot sit here as citizens and say, well, we can't do anything if the United States want to put those things. Say, yes, we can. We are the citizens, and we are saying it should not come here, it cannot come here, and we're taking a firm decision to tell the government, look, no is no. So don't keep thinking about it and say, well, you're thinking a bit and you want to put teams together to see how we... No. We're saying as citizens, we do not want it, it cannot land on our shores, and that is it. Put embargo on us, we are going to survive. But we said, no. We have to talk tough and act tough.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, one of the things that I must share, having listened to your comment, is this. Now, it's widely accepted that if the the cargo boats don't come to Grenada for 2 weeks, the shelves in the supermarket would be empty. It's a belief by the researchers that we basically have 2 weeks worth of food, because such a high percentage of our food is imported. Now, many might agree, well, if that happened, it's not a bad thing. It means that we are being forced towards self reliance and creating our secondary products to use, but anything that destabilizes our region has monumental impact on our small societies and impacts very quickly. Fuel. All our fuel is imported. So, if you think about the multiple of uses of fuel, it's major in terms of these things. So what we have to hope for is that sensible decisions are made in the best interest of Grenadians, and that we get involved in de-escalating any situation that looks as though it's going to be a some kind of power keg, or and hopefully reason prevails. But these are not easy decisions.
All right. So the question we have to ask: shouldn't the government support secondary processing? Now,
And
if government is supporting secondary processing, the public must know.
yeah,
This can be a secret. It can be piecemeal.
yeah,
It means that the Ministry of Agriculture, which perhaps the directorate
it's the lead.
driving agriculture,
Yeah,
is clear.
yeah,
It
it's the
means
lead.
that the Cocoa Association, the Nutmeg Association, their position is clear. Yes, part of our policy, part of our approach, part of our husbandry practices is to support secondary process.
Yeah, and we have so many cocoa and nutmeg pools that are not being used or being turned into supermarket. Shouldn't those be used for research and development in
It
terms
has
of
nothing
the
to do with because they don't have a policy.
yeah yeah in terms of the secondary
They
processes?
don't
But
have.
the policy certainly guides everything, but in the absence of the policy, I am saying, clearly that, government should and must support secondary processing. And we don't have to have it all in place to start. We start with what we have. There's a kind of culture sometimes, oh, we don't have this, we don't have that, so we can't start.
But
We start with what we have.
in all fairness, people have been making a attempt. People had potato pudding inside the thing. Some people pass around and sell it.
Yeah.
But the scale at which they do it
Yeah.
and it gone through. So that is when somebody starts something, and perhaps if you have a policy, if it is part of the Ministry of Agriculture policy, they could look at it and provide technical support. Sometimes it's just a little technical support.
Yeah.
Some people may be producing a small quantity and walking around and sell it. And perhaps you say, well, why don't you sell it to the supermarkets?
Yeah. Yeah.
For instance, marketing board used to buy sugar cake and sweet some people.
Yeah.
And they do the distribution.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the question must boil down to, shouldn't the government support secondary processing? And if the government is supporting secondary processing, all and sundry no.
Yeah.
That's where it is. We don't know. Yes, they may have some little piecemeal.
Yeah.
A little, okay, give him a little blight here. Give this person a little mushing. But it's not part of the policy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as such, it is done in a little piecemeal. We get $1 million for something, so we choose one or two people and give it.
Yeah.
You go in the schoolhouse and children are doing agriculture science or food and nutrition. But there is no linkage between the agriculture science and the food and nutrition. I don't know if that is the word they use in school, no, food and nutrition.
Yeah.
that have been involved, that has been evolving. One time they used to say cookery, now they say food and nutrition.
Yeah.
So the farmer that produces cucumbers on his farm, he doesn't know what to do with the excess. So he dumps it. But his child in school is doing food and nutrition. But she does not know how to pickle the cucumber. So if you have a policy and you know what are some of the excesses that the farmers have, then the programs might be teaching children, younger people, how to pickle cucumber. So they don't have to go to the and the cucumber that is wasting from the farmer's farm, their daughter or somebody else could make use of it. Take, for instance, honey. Most of the farmers in Grenada, the beekeepers in Grenada, they do honey, but they don't bother with pollen. Like they don't have time. A farmer might produce, one of the bigger farmers might produce 1,000 gallons of honey per annum. And that would bring him a tidy sum. I mean, that might easily bring him over $150,000 for the year. But that individual has not bothered with pollen.
Yeah.
He has not bothered with royal jelly. He don't bother with propolis. So from that industry, his wife or his child could have been used in the pollen. The farmer goes to deal with his honey. All these things just go to waste. You don't bother with it. So, at some stage, we have to ask ourselves questions. It cannot be that we don't have the technology. We have the University of West Indies. We have a number of agricultural colleges. Perhaps agriculture must have a lot of people have a lot of high certificate, and maybe they travel the world more than anybody else. From Taiwan to China to Morocco, they have seen all different type of models. But how? Because we don't have a policy. Because the government don't have a policy of supporting secondary processing. All these technology that we say we want to go in China, we have it here. We have men with PhD in agriculture, doctorate in agriculture, master's degree in agriculture, 20, 30, 40 years service in that field. But yet, our people can't even corn fish. You're struggling. Well, if you go to buy corn fish in the market, you hardly could get it in the supermarket because the little corn fish that they corn, the little fish that they corn, they're selling it right in the fish market. It's not enough. If a supermarket want to buy corn fish from the farmer, you don't corn enough. Now, how could you encourage people to corn more fish? You have, and this is supposed to be the thinking of government here. You have a possibility. I am very positive, and I believe the interlocutor are going to settle that issue. Going to solve the problem with the fish going to the U.S. market. But if when January comes, you don't have that market, what do you do with the fish that they're holding? So that is where we have to find ways to pre-packet that fish, have it in the supermarket. If that fish could con it, or process the fish.
Yeah, and one of the things that they've done, and I've had the experience of having, is smoked products, smoked meats, smoked fish, smoked chicken. I know.
But we eating one amount of smoker. All the head. Head.
Yeah, oh God, I have to confess I'm a lover of smoked herring as well. But why don't we, as you say, you talk quite a bit, Mr. Pierre, just now about support for secondary processing. And I think, as per usual, I don't want to blow our own trumpet, but we've been arguing on this kind of podcast for ages that you need, a plan. If you're going to move forward, you need an agricultural plan, you need a strategy. And in the same way, I think Mr. Pierre was very strong this morning on, we need a policy in terms of secondary processing in order to move forward. Because what you find in terms of these subsectors is that it's not just sometimes a cutlass, and it's not always about, oh, we got 1 million from the World Bank, so we give a few people this and that and all the rest of it. There needs to be a coordinated, eclectic approach or a holistic approach in terms of these things. So all the different components that supports a subsector to make it a success is in place. And then if we can get most of it in one under one kind of massive industrial complex, it's good. That doesn't mean I'm kind of against the small kind of dispersed units here, there, everywhere. Actually, we have that now. Lots of people, have been continuing over the years doing stuff from their home or whatever. But what we really interested in seeing is the scaling up. Rather than doing half a ton and there's a market for 20 ton, let's kind of help the person to get up to that 20 ton. Let's help them, enable them to make a good living. Sometimes I get the feeling, if you're from the rural community, people want us to be poor. But, I sincerely hope that the rural community could get back to the days where we have money circulation in it. And I want to see millionaires in the rural community. I have no qualms about that.
Well, at one time in the village of Paraclete, Hermitage, Brother, you had some guys, we used to say the rich, but I would prefer to say they had serious discretionary income. And it seriously reflected in the shops and the bars. When a man like Franco walk in the shop, he said, bring whiskey. He never asked the price. He said, bring whiskey.
Yeah.
When you come to Paraclete and you met some of the dons inside there,
Yeah.
and we had a number of people with trucks, you're sure you're getting a ride. And if you meet them, Mr. Randolph Forrester will buy all the bread in the shop for you.
Yeah.
Once you meet Uncle Randolph
Yeah.
as a school child, he buy out all the bread in the shop. He said, just give them bread, give them bread.
Yeah.
Because these individuals had serious discretionary income. And all of them were farmers.
Yeah.
We have not been able to build on the products that we have. So during the 70s, we had open bat and close up play. That was fig in the morning and green fig in the evening. And you might get it right.
Yeah.
But we do not have fig now that we could have in a dry form and we could make porridge with.
Yeah.
Now, men like Tanya porridge.
Yeah. I too.
But we don't have Tanya. Obviously, we could sell Tanya, great Tanya, put it in the fridge and sell it in packets. That's how you sell snow ice. So somebody could go and buy 5 packets of Tanya and go home and make porridge with it. Because in the same way they buy Pinnacle, they cool in the penna. We don't make it. Now we make the syrup that they make the Pinnacle with. No, they cool in the penna. We don't make it. But we have dashing. And sometimes they put dashing in potato pudding and etc. But we were not able to improve the shelf life of dashing, although we have one among the agronomists and etc.
Yeah.
So it is nice to condemn the United States of America and other countries when they don't buy our products and complain about the price we're getting for it. But what are we doing
Yeah.
to consume some of the things that we consume?
Yeah. No, excellent points.
When you look at the snacks in the shop there, now, you have plenty pepper, plenty salt, and
Sugar.
plenty sugar. The snacks in the shop have plenty pepper, plenty salt, and plenty sugar.
Mm-hmm.
I am asking, why don't we? Because our children like plenty pepper, plenty salt, and plenty sugar.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna get fat and dead anyway. So why not take our product, put plenty pepper, plenty salt, and plenty sugar, and sell it give it children?
Kill them.
Well, they're gonna die anyway. Because when they eat these snacks, and
Yeah.
everybody tell you that if you consume those snacks at a very young age, you develop the taste. You lose the taste for fresh foods.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm sure you're guilty of this, Mr. Pierre, as I am. That saltfish, I know
That
in
doesn't
my
eat salt.
I know in my head that fresh fish is better.
Not me. I don't eat in salt.
I know that fresh fish is better, but I love the saltfish. The taste has been conditioned in my
Right.
brain and my head over the years. I want saltfish.
Well, yeah, but I do eat in salt. So what?
That's not what they tell me.
No, I don't eat in it. When you look at the supermarkets and you look at the shops and you see the amount of snacks, nothing there is made in Grenada.
Yeah.
And you know these snacks is value added. Instead of throwing away the trash,
Mm-hmm.
they mix it up with salt and pepper. So why can't we do that
Yeah.
and sell it? We have red mango,
Yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
where we get this red mango. We send a mango to Trinidad and we get a red mango. You know, Trinidad is a neighbor, one market and economy. So I have no objection with that.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have dams away. Why we don't green the dams or yellow the dams or some kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because our kids eating anything. Once you have plenty salt, plenty sugar, and then pepper.
Yeah. So I come back to what I started with. In terms of development and things that work, we continue doing things that doesn't work, that causes harm and damage to our society. Refusing to kind of take a different path to something that will work. We know for over 50 years, 52 years now we are, or whatever, that our systems have not been working well. We know we've not developed our secondary processing, and nevertheless we get a little grant somewhere and we pour it into a little equipment here and there or whatever, and that's it. We really need to look at places that are really pushing ahead with secondary processing and products. Like I had friends who were in Sri Lanka and they were sending me back pictures amazed at the marketing and the processing of products, be it mango, be it tambran, etc., that they were seeing in Sri Lanka. Vietnam as well, they were just boasting about Vietnam and the range of products that was coming from Vietnam. And I think, we have to really challenge our leadership and we have to be more entrepreneurial individually and just do products, because not everybody needs support. There are some people in our society that can get on with it themselves, and they really should. But we must make government work for the people. We know that in order to move forward, we have to have a secondary processing base. We know that we have to have a solarized system, national development solarized system. We know we have to get more technology transfer into Grenada, and we know we have to have some form of manufacturing. Nothing like a big car factory like in the North America, but there are small scale manufacturing that we can do in Grenada, and competitively. So we have to look at what works. Far too often we're comfortable with continuing how we are. We know it's not working, but we continue. We come in the office every week and we continue something that we know is not working. So that mindset has to really change. We know that the money comes from secondary processing. Almost anybody who talks in Grenada will tell you, why aren't we doing it? Why are we not doing it? And we know that's where the money comes from. Even some simple thing like the banana, the little bananas and them. You make banana salad, they're making these salads all the time with these imported potatoes those things. You can make it, and be amazed as well at how nice it tastes with our little green bananas. You know that we have different types of bananas. So you get the little one. I find the little one makes a lovely banana salad. I've had it before. So let's do what will work, and let's kind of, start challenging doing the things that we know is not going to work and is eating up our revenue in terms of our taxpayers' dollars.
Maybe sometimes I see our leaders as making some beautiful speeches, and they
Eloquent.
and they quote the Bible as if they are Christians, as if they are diehard Christians.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need to remind them. Lee Kuan Yew, and I
Yeah.
know a lot of them like to quote Lee Kuan Yew.
Singapore.
Even our prime minister have been quoting him.
Okay.
Kuan Yew said to his people, "Don't be like the Caribbean people. They produce nothing. They consume everything, and every day they drinking and celebrating."
Yeah.
Nobody challenged Lee Kuan Yew because they know it was true.
Yeah.
Forbes Bonham, he was the one that said, "Grow what you eat and eat what you grow." And Forbes Bonham in cooperative socialism banned a lot of products from Guyana, including carrots. And they was serving raw pumpkin in the Pegasus suit. Carambola. Guyanese was making the best black cake in the world. Now, Forbes Bonham was not successful with that eat what you grow and grow what you eat, because not even the University of the West Indies and no other leader at the time supported him.
Oh dear.
Here we have a country in Grenada here, and we complaining. But perhaps, and I'm not blaming the government, because I'm saying if we hungry for anything, the government will deliver it. So maybe if the people who produce the primary product is hungry for support for secondary processing, the government must go that direction. But even the commodity boards, nutmeg, yes, caller, welcome.
Hi, good day, gentlemen. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. Thank you.
Very interesting program. Growing up in Grenada and the Caribbean as a whole, I actually felt that all families, especially in the rural communities, was mini agro processing units.
Hmm.
I remember stuff like Milo and Ovaltine was like what do you call it? Like only something you get around Christmas time when it's in a barrel. It was like a privilege.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up going drinking what we call bush tea
Hmm.
and cocoa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I saw the stages from my grandfather picking it, putting it to sweat, drying it, all that, and then processing it after. We had the liquor grinders and everything. I'm saying all that to say that I think the movement to, I say, development has taken away a lot of our historical and historical platforms that created that independence of self sustainability.
Hmm.
That's what I think it is. As we so-called develop, we move more to a commercial aspect of living, where most stuff are bought and imported,
Hmm.
rather than if we kept that tradition alive
Hmm.
as a people, we'd
Hmm.
be more self-sustained because everybody have the little farm, they have the little garden.
Hmm.
No, granted, the farmers might be affected in terms of people doing their own thing, but the thought is sustainability. So if the excess, just like how like marketing board was set up, and there was the idea of farmers bringing what they have for marketing board having a market to process or sell. I think we could have that avenue. So even if people do their stuff at home and they have some extras, maybe they could put it out. There should be some platform set up for that kind of thing.
Hmm.
Also with the farming, I was thinking, how feasible is it that the farmers could have their own selling stations on the farm. So rather than they have to invest in mobility to bring it out or get people to bring their products to, they actually have a station in the farm where they can actually sell their products. So you go visit the farm for poultry, for all kinds of meats, for provisions, whatever it is. I don't know how feasible that is to get that process setting up. But I think even for the fish, I mean, people can have farm fishing too. It doesn't actually have to come from the ocean, you know. And I had cousins in the Bolio side that actually did that. They had their little containers and they had the little tilapia and stuff. And tilapia has a good market, especially overseas too. I think nobody much pay attention to it. There's a lot of it around here,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So as I said, like growing up, I remember everything was actually done home. Like
Mm-hmm.
things like those processed stuff, those canned stuff was like privileged. We only got those in barrels.
Yeah.
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 Everything else we did from home. Even the cornfish. I remember being in Rose Hill,
Mm-hmm.
Montfendu Plantation. I used to manage that place for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going into Rose Hill, the guys used to go down to the lake
Mm-hmm.
and they catch their fish. They put it to corn and they sell it around the village.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So in terms of you were saying like the byproduct or you call it the secondary processing.
Processing,
Yeah.
secondary
I-
processing.
Processing. I think we have some people, although it's small scale, but again, I think there should be some intervention in the way you support them because especially when you see the product that they give, we have a very unique state where we could claim organic and everything.
Mm-hmm.
We could claim the purest of the foods, the purest of the soil, the purest of the air, and that could be a marketing scheme. Just like when you, because people falsify the whole organic or fresh and that kind of thing on the branding, and
Mm-hmm.
we actually have it. So I think that's something we could use to get in a niche market, yeah, and stem from there. There's
Mm-hmm.
a guy that I know right now in St. David's. He does the plantain chips. He
Mm-hmm.
does bananas and breadfruit.
Mm-hmm.
He right now I think he wants to get into dasheen and sweet potato, Irish potato, and all that. His name is
Wonderful.
Jason. He has a company called this company is called Crimsleys. Yeah, the brand name is called Crimsleys. Now this guy actually walks around, takes bus with his bags and stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
go drop off orders, come back and all. And so I mean, I know it's a hard step for him. So if there was more intervention, maybe some sponsorship, maybe the government intervention, that could be used because I remember there's a program that the government say like you have to eat fresh and they don't want like conkers and that kind of stuff, processed foods in for snacks as children.
Mm-hmm.
These are things that we could tap into.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, a business model I had was like to actually get some industrial sized dehydrators
Mm-hmm.
and dehydrate a lot of the stuff that we have. So one we have some food security
Mm-hmm.
because the food have a larger shelf life. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, why is the administration not really thinking in that process? Because all the breadfruit, you could get breadfruit flour, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You could get a breadfruit flour, and then have it stored.
Mm-hmm.
And I say we just use it as normal, just as
Mm-hmm.
how we use these other things.
Mm.
Even you mentioned banana salad. Dashing makes a wicked salad too.
Okay.
Um, even sorry, the breadfruit again, you can get like a mayonnaise type dressing from it for
Right.
condiments. You could convert it into that because
Mm-hmm.
that's something I do. The cashew nuts, that's something I do also. You can get the cashew nuts and you could process a cheese
Mm-hmm.
from it.
Mm-hmm.
You could get
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
liquid cheese or a solid cheese,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
based on there's so many niches or so many things that we could get into as byproducts or you say secondary processing,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think we have much platform for it. So apart from individuals doing it at their home,
Mm-hmm.
which maybe we should use the you call it the internet system to actually have some training videos or tutorials.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a teaching process for everyone involved.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have like things like Zoom and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We could set up platforms where these niche information that could be spread to a wider mass, so it's not lost, it's documented,
Mm-hmm.
so we could relate it or go back to it at any time.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
scholar, thank you, and we highly appreciate you, but we're coming to the end of the program.
Yeah.
no
I,
problem, sir.
yeah.
Thank you
Appreciate you
very
having
much.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and one of the thing I
You
want to
have you have 2 minutes.
commend you about is what you just said. We have to write or video these things, otherwise it gets lost, and it's important that government invest in that so we don't lose our history. Sorry that we had to cut you short, but I will have the first stab at ending here. So, should government support, invest in secondary processing? Of course they should. It's one of our ways out. Will they support? I hope so. We have so many wonderful products that can be done in terms of secondary processing. So I very much hope that government takes the opportunity and supports secondary processing. Not, as we've said, with a little bit of money here, but a plan.
Yes, and I believe that we have to provoke discussion on this issue. And there are a number of one another organization, Gender Affairs, always thought this group was just a group that want to emasculate the males. But I believe that that was a group that could have helped to show families how to work together and the economic importance of developing and working and staying together. They would have solved more problems if they take the approach that the man and the woman is a unity. You all must work together and solve problems and the economic importance. And a lot of the challenges they may have is from the country, rural communities.
Yeah.
And maybe if they were able to help people to facilitate the process for the cottage industry, for secondary processing, that would be a better situation. I don't think Cocoa and Nutmeg knows that I'm disappointed in them and I'm always challenging them. If periodically to put out some publication where you encouraging the farmers to do husbandry practices and secondary processing. And we do hope that you speak about it. Government wouldn't just bother with what we see. But if you start to discuss this issue about shouldn't government support secondary processing, and they go say they do it, whereas a little piecemeal every now and then they put somebody they like, or you have a policy. So all and sundry knows that this is part of the agriculture policy.
Yeah. And I love the two callers, the contribution they made today.
And we encourage you to subscribe to our program. Help us to grow. Subscribe, share, and like our program.
473 standing strong is yours, The medium and opportunity for you. Make your contribution, let them know. Democracy in Spice Isles is alive and well. Ask you questions, sing and beat you drum. Make you suggestions, encourage them on to walk the straight and narrow in the land. Politics,